Good morning, Pioneers. My name is Summer McCowen, your Student Council President. If you have any ideas for the rest of the school year, make sure you reach out to me or any other Student Council members. We have a lot of things in the works for you guys this year. Random holidays, a kickball tournament, and potentially an amazing race. Next month, September 24th, on a Saturday, we'll have our homecoming dance, and next Friday, August 26th, will be our casual dance to kick off the school year. I hope to see you guys there and at the rest of our Student Council events.
Hello Pioneers, and welcome to the 2016-2017 school year. My name is Theresa Carroll and I'm Assistant Principal for letters A through E. This is my third year as an Assistant Principal and Activities Director here at Leavenworth High School, and today I'm going to be going over a few of the policies that you will see in your handbook. I will be covering clubs and activities today, bullying and harassment, electronic devices, plagiarism and cheating, vending machines, and then I'm going to talk about my Pioneer mentors. First of all, I'm going to start off by talking about clubs and activities. There are over 36 club and activities here at Leavenworth High School. So if you want to be involved, we have anything and everything for you. If we don't have something that you're interested in, you can try to start one. There's a process in which you would need to find a sponsor and people that are interested in your club or activity. The cell phone policy at Leavenworth High School does allow you to use your cell phones during passing period and during lunchtime. With that being said, in the classroom, we have this great stoplight procedure that is in each of your classrooms that will tell you what should be going on with your cell phone. There is red, yellow, and green. The procedure is electronic devices are only used at the teacher's discretion for educational purposes. At no time will it be used for social purposes or for entertainment. So, if there is a clothespin on the red light, that means no cell phones are out and this is instructional time. Every cell phone should be turned off or on silent. If there is a clothespin on a yellow, your cell phone is either face down on the corner of the desk or put away. You must receive permission to use the cell phone, and it can be used during times of research, paper writing, and during seminar time, if this is yellow. At no time should it be used for social networking or for your personal use. If it is green, the student should remain on task. This is during independent time. Teacher will often say if it's green that you might be able to use it for music as you're working. And this can be used to complete coursework for classes if you need to look something up and so forth. Once again, this is indicated by a clothespin, and the teacher will have a clothespin where it should be. If you violate the cell phone policy, you will be asked by the teacher to give them your cell phone, and then it will be turned into the office. If it is turned into the office, you have to come and get it on the first violation at the end of the day and sign for it. At second violation, you have to have a parent or guardian pick it up, and you will receive 1 day of ISS. And we will continue the process of discipline if you continue breaking the cell phone policy here at Leavenworth High School. The next thing I'm going to be discussing today is bullying and harassment. If you turn to page 21 of your student handbook, it clearly defines our policy on bullying and harassment here at Leavenworth High School. It is not tolerated. If you do not know what bullying and harassment is, there's a nice definition here that talks about intimidation, harassment, bullying will not be tolerated by students, staff, or third parties and strictly prohibited and is not tolerated by the district. If this is happening via face-to-face, in the hallway, social media, you will be subjected to discipline, and you can also be referred to law enforcement. I'm going to be talking about plagiarism and cheating. Please refer to page 35 of your handbook. It clearly states the plagiarism and cheating policy here at Leavenworth High School. Plagiarism is when you submit a project or a paper without proper citation. It also is when you use somebody else's work and say that it's yours. Here at Leavenworth High School, we have a strict policy on plagiarism and cheating. If you're caught plagiarizing, you will receive a 0 and we will make a parent phone call. If you're caught plagiarizing or cheating again, you will receive a 0, and then you will receive discipline. So plagiarism and cheating will not be tolerated here at Leavenworth High School. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is our vending machines. Our vending machines have several selections of moderate to healthy food choices. They are open during lunchtime. There is no other time during the day that the vending machines are open. They are located over by the lunchroom, between the lunchroom and the main gym. The last thing I would like to say is I want to give a huge shout out to our Pioneer Mentoring program. Our Pioneer Mentors did a great job at Orientation Day. For you new students and freshmen, welcome to Leavenworth High School. And if you have any questions, please refer to your mentors that you will have during your seminar period. We are glad to have you here, and Pioneer Mentors, thank you for all your hard work and being such great role models. I am looking forward to a great school year, Leavenworth Pioneers. Just a couple activities I would like to point out. First of all, starting on August 22nd during lunchtime, there will be what we call an activity fair where all the clubs and sponsors and activities and sports will have tables up displaying what we offer here at Leavenworth High School. The last thing I would like to mention is our first back to school dance. It's called MORP. Student Council puts it on, and it is August 26th at 7 p.m. in the small gym. So hopefully you can all join us. It's a great time to get to know each other, and it's a great time to show your school spirit. Have a great year. It's what you make of it. Thank you.
Good morning, Pioneers, and welcome to this year's 2016-2017 school year. Hope you all have a great one. Hope you had a great summer. Let's talk about some business this year. I am James Vanek. I'm the athletic director and assistant principal here at the high school. I want to first of all talk to you about extracurricular activities. Leavenworth High School is proud to have many different activities, clubs, athletics that you can get yourself involved with. So we encourage you to do just that. Get yourself involved. Find something, get involved. If you are going to play a sport, we do require paperwork. That paperwork is required by the state of Kansas as well as the high school. So make sure you see Miss Sullivan in the office to pick up all those forms and get those things turned in promptly. As well as paperwork, we do require good grades, so make sure you're passing all of your grades and you are in good standing if you want to be an athlete at Leavenworth High School here. I want to talk about sportsmanship at games. Here at Leavenworth High School, we're awful proud of this idea called sportsmanship. In fact, last year we won the state sportsmanship award at the girls' state basketball tournament, so we're awful proud of that. So we encourage you to come out to games, have a good time, but always stay classy. We're going to cheer for our team, not against, and we're not ever going to boo, heckle, or do anything that's uncalled for towards officials, opponents, or anybody else at those games. I want to talk real quickly about security. We have security guards here on school. They will be at security desk at all times. They'll also be around the school during the school day. If you ever have any issues or if you need anything, you can always contact one of those people. But they are staff members, so we do ask you to abide by what they request from you as well. So make sure if they ask you to do something, you do that in an orderly manner. We would appreciate that. Talk about detentions and ISS. I'm sure we've talked about a lot of policies in this video, but I just want to talk about detentions ISS. If you do violate some of those policies, you might end up getting a detention. The detention room is room 268. We do have morning detentions and after-school detentions. The ISS room, if you make some major violations with those policies, you will end up in the ISS room. It is room 268, and what ISS is you will serve a day of in-school suspension in that classroom all day long. You will not be allowed to go socialize with your peers. You'll be in that room. So make sure you follow all of our policies and procedures, and you won't end up there. Lost and found. We do have a lost and found here at the high school. If you do happen to lose something, or if you find something, please return that to the security desk. Talk to those folks there. If you do lose something, they can hopefully track that down for you, or we can get that returned back to its rightful owner. We'd appreciate your cooperation in that. We've got a school nurse on staff. She does an excellent job, and she does administer medications throughout the course of the day if you have paperwork on file. So make sure if you need some over-the-counter medication such as Tylenol or ibuprofen, you see her in advance and make sure you've got your forms filled out and completed so that she could give you some Tylenol and ibuprofen for some of those minor things you may come across. Finally, I want to talk to you a little bit about crisis information. We will have several drills throughout the course of this school year. We'll actually have them on a monthly basis where we will have various different drills. We expect your cooperation in that, so we will be ready in case we ever are in a true crisis situation. We can plan for those things accordingly. So we'd appreciate your support and your behavior in meeting our expectations in those drills. Those drills we will have can range from a fire drill to a lockdown drill to a tornado drill. So there will be various things we will practice and be ready for. And actually, while we're talking about crisis, on that note, I better seek some shelter here. Thanks. Let's have a great year, everybody.
Hello, LHS. I'm Mr. Bogart. You can call me by my first name, Mr. And today it is my pleasure to share with you some things about LHS that I've grown to know and love, and that you will need to know and love and embrace in order to be a successful student here in the home of the pioneers. Our objectives today are that you will know the school policies and expectations for attendance, tardies versus absences. You'll know what truancy is. You'll understand appropriate use of technology. You'll get some hints on how to use your planner, and you'll know a little bit more about me, Mr. Bogart. So at this time, I'd like you to turn to a classmate and say, I'm ready to learn. Being at school is the law. You have to be here, and guess what? We want you here. It's always a bad day if you're not here. Attendance, though, is your and your parents' responsibility. It's not mine. I get to deal with you if you're not here. Your attendance is critical for success. And we hope that you want to be successful, and therefore we hope and trust that you will be here at school at all times. If you are gone, and there are many reasons why you might be, please make sure that your guardians or your parents call in within 24 hours so that the office knows how to check you and your presence here at school. And if you are gone, it is your responsibility to get any missed work from your teachers. So at this time, I want you to turn to a classmate and say, attendance matters. Nicely done. I want to tell you how important attendance is, but there are some times when I just have to prove it a little bit. So we're going to take a quiz, and if you were here at LHS last year, you already know the answers to this quiz if you remember it. So the quiz question number 1 is, how many school days did I, Mr. Bogart, miss from 7th grade through the 12th grade? Think about it. Tuck that answer in your head. Check it against the answer. 0. That is correct. I missed 0 days of school between 7th and my senior year. That's also nada, or a little slang here, zilch. Turn to a classmate and say, impressive. Oh yeah, it is so impressive. So let me ask you this question. How many school days did I miss last year due to non-school related business or illness? Think about it. Here's your question. Got the answer? I missed 1. I had 1 day of sickness last year, and it was no fun to be gone because there was just more work for me on my desk when I got back. Now, we have some policies that can be a little confusing, and it's important for you to know the difference between a tardy and an absence, especially at the beginning of the school day. Let me share with you this. This is on pages 15 and 16 and page 18 in your student handbook, which we'll be talking about a little bit later as well. First hour tardies are not excusable. If we excuse first hour tardies, none of you would be here. So when you come in late, you need to figure out if you are tardy or if you're being counted as absent. If you show up late to school, but show up before 8:10 in the morning, you're considered tardy. You check in through the library classroom. After 8:10, you're really considered absent, and you'll be marked absent, and you have to go to the office after you arrive, or even going to lock the doors. So after 8:10 or 8:10 or after, you need to go to the south entrance of the school and come in through the security entrance doors. Are you a little confused by that? Turn to a classmate and say, I may need some more help with this. And it's okay that you need some more help. So let's take another simple quiz. Here we go. Tardy or absent? You are late to school, but you arrived before 8:10. Tardy or absent? You are tardy. Go to the library. Tardy or absent? You are late to school, but it's 8:10 or after. What are you? Think about it for a second. That's correct. You are considered absent. Go to the office. I hope that you had some success knowing the difference between being tardy the first hour and absent the first hour. Okay? So now that we've taken care of that, turn to a classmate and say, I got it. Some other things about tardies, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be tardy between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th hours. And when we have seminars, you can be tardy to seminar. What does that mean? Well, tardy means that you are you arrive to class after the bell has rung, but less than 5 minutes from the start of the class without a pass. Only staff members can excuse tardies, your parents cannot. And if you begin to accumulate tardies, there are some consequences for that. For instance, after your 3rd tardy, you will receive an office detention, and you'll have a couple of days to serve that detention. If you get up to 9 tardies, then you'll be considered in violation of a number of policies here at LHS, and you could even get an out-of-school suspension. I don't like it when students get out-of-school suspensions for tardies. It's hard to tell you to go home when you're already here. So at this time, I'd like to turn to a classmate and say, it's no party when you're tardy. Unexcused absences and skipping are defined for you in the handbook on page 16. An unexcused absence is defined as being over 5 minutes late to a class or simply missing class without permission. Or you might be unexcused or considered to be skipping if you leave the building without permission. And if you do have to leave the building because of a family emergency, an unexpected illness, or other event in your life, please leave through the office. You must check out with our secretaries. So turn to a classmate and say, save skipping for recess. Truancy. We never want you to get to be truant, ladies and gentlemen. And truancy is defined as missing 3 days of school in a row, or 5 days in a semester, or 7 days in a school year. Truancy could be considered a result of skipping classes or skipping school. And you could even be considered truant in the eyes of the law if you have missed 10 or more excused absences. Believe it or not, if you have 10 or more excused absences, we could consider you truant and file paperwork with Leavenworth County. Well, we don't want to do that. We want you here at school because this is where we get the work done. So please, be here at school. And if you are ever gone for a medical reason, make sure that you bring a note from a doctor. So this time, turn to our classmate and say, I will not be fluent in being truant. Let's move on to another important topic, not truancy, but let's move to technology. On page 38 of the handbook, ladies and gentlemen, is our acceptable use policy, which gives you a list of do's and do nots. And I'll let you read these on your own because you are young adults and we know you're well versed in reading and can take care of this on your own. But again, it's on page 38. And a simple rule of mine is this. Make sure when you use district technology, whether it's a Chromebook, an Acer laptop, a desktop computer, that you are visiting academically appropriate websites so that you do not cause yourself to be questioned by your teacher, another student, or an administrator. If you wonder whether the website content is appropriate, it's probably not, and we encourage you to move away from that content. We do have computer technicians here at the school. They work very hard for us. They do monitor all students' internet activity at our request, and they can pull up your search history and see what you have been doing. They can also monitor any illegal downloading activity. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you're using our technology in an appropriate fashion, as we do not want to have to work with you in correcting that particular behavior. So turn to a classmate at this time and say, use tech wisely. But one of the last things I need to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is this wonderful planner. Now, I'm fairly up to date on things, and I keep all of my appointments and my contacts and my addresses and phone numbers on this cell phone. But the great thing about the planner, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't require batteries. It doesn't require to be plugged in every night. If you drop it, the screen is not going to break. Ladies, it fits nicely into your handbag. Gentlemen, I'll bet you could stick this thing into the pocket of some of those shorts and pants that you wear and have it at your have it accessible at any time. But most of you carry backpacks, so I would encourage you to have it in your backpack at all times. This can serve as a primary hall pass if you fill out one of these pages on the particular day and time that you need to leave a class to go to the restroom or go to the nurse's office. We encourage you to use your planner. You have to have a pass when you're in the hallways, and this is the best one to use. You can also use this to organize yourself academically. Write down the dates that things are due, but also write down an alert for yourself 2 or 3 days ahead of time. Instead of writing down that you have a physics test on Friday in Mr. Wentz's class, write that down on Wednesday so you can alert yourself to studying Wednesday and Thursday night. On pages 53 and 54 of the planner, in the white page section, you will find the vocabulary lessons and all the vocabulary words that will be shared with you not only in your English classes, but throughout all of our courses here at LHS. And it's important to familiarize yourself with these and impress some people when you can use words like coalesce, or impeccable, or incessant. Make yourself seem like a smarter person by your use of vocabulary that is handily placed for you in your LHS handbook. And by the way, you do fit in at Leavenworth. If I fit in at Leavenworth, anyone can fit in at Leavenworth. If you lose it, it'll cost you $5. Bring your $5 bill or a check made out to LHS to the office, and we will see if we can get you another one of these. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to turn to a classmate and say, planning is the key to success. My final words for you are these, ladies and gentlemen. I had a great first year at LHS. The students, the staff, all the support staff, and the administration made me feel very welcome. And it is my job to make sure that you feel safe and secure in your classrooms and in our building, and that you get the best education that we can provide for you. I will see you in your classrooms. I'll see you in the hallways. I'll see you in the cafeterias before school and during lunch. I'll see you on the football field, in the stands, on the basketball court, at track. Perhaps I'll see you at the swimming meets. I'll see you on the stages. I'll see you marching in the band. I'll see you singing your hearts out in our music performances. There are so many things for you to do, and I look forward to seeing you around. And if you ever want to stop by and see me in my office, if I'm there, make sure you bring oatmeal raisin cookies. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is this. Find a classmate and tell them this. Make it a great year or not, the choice is yours. And I want you to think about that. The choice of making this a great year is really yours. Control what you can control and seek out the help of others to fix what you cannot. Make it a great year or not, LHS, the choice is yours.
Good morning, Leavenworth High School, and welcome back. My name is Mrs. Cole, and I'm primarily in charge of students whose last names begin with the letters S to Z. Leavenworth High is truly a great place, and for the most part, students come through without any issues. However, there are a few big items that I'm going to talk to you about today that can result in major disciplinary action. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is tobacco, alcohol, and drugs, be it prescription or illegal. Tobacco is not allowed on campus amongst any student. If you are under the age of 18, you will also receive a ticket, but all will be subject to disciplinary action. Alcohol, of course, is not allowed for anyone. If you are under the influence or in possession, again, you will be in trouble with the school system. Next are prescription drugs. Prescription drugs are only allowed for the person they are prescribed for. If you bring them to school, they are to immediately be turned into the office with a doctor's note explaining the prescription. If they are distributed to anybody else, it falls into the same category as illegal drugs. Distribution of prescription drugs that are not meant for another person, as well as illegal drugs, will result in major disciplinary action and will result in suspension and very often long-term suspension. So please be smart with this. If you ever see anybody or you have proof that you believe that somebody is distributing items that they should not be here at Leavenworth High School, please make sure you come talk to us in the main office and we will keep your name confidential. The next thing that I want to talk about is student conflict. At Leavenworth High School, whether conflict is verbal or physical, it is never allowed. Verbal conflict will most likely result in ISS, but a physical fight will result in a minimum of a 5-day suspension and can go up to 10 days for a first fight and possibly a long-term suspension. If you are involved in a second physical fight in a school year, you will very likely go to long-term suspension on the spot. Treating each other with respect is a very important piece of going to school here at the high school. Hardly ever does anybody land in a physical fight without first having run their mouths in some way or another. This could be in person or via social media. Make good choices with your words. This actually leads me to my third topic, which is criminal threat. You need to watch what you say, again in person and even more so these days on social media. If you make a threat to the physical well-being of another student, you can be subject to disciplinary action here at school, and additionally, you can have police consequences and police charges. As I talk about that, these types of negative comments and things being said are often what lead to what I talked about before, which is physical fighting, and while that will land you in major issues, that is another way that you will land at the police station. The fourth thing that I need to talk then today about is weapons. Of course, weapons are not allowed in school. It doesn't have to even be a true gun, it could be a pellet gun, but if it incites fear and is believed to be a real gun, it is treated as such. Any weapon being brought to school can result in suspension, and very often does result in suspension for a full calendar year where your rights to an education are taken away. The last after the big four that I need to at least bring up is PDA, or public displays of affection. Please be respectful of the other students and the teachers within this building. Nobody wants to see kids kissing, hugging, and hanging on each other. We realize that you are in relationships in high school and we respect that, but respect us in the amount of affection that you show. Okay, with those things being said, again, I want to welcome you all to another great school year. Please note that our office door is always open, be it whether you have something that you need to report or you just need to come see us because you need some assistance. Our door is open to you, and we really want to help you in any way that we can.
Good morning. I'm Tom Berry, principal here at Leavenworth High, and I'd like to welcome you back to the 2016-2017 school year. I hope you had a great summer. I hope you're ready to come back and have an enjoyable and learning experience here at Leavenworth High. I'd like to, first of all, congratulate our Student Council President, Summer McCowen. Appreciate her help with this video and certainly look forward to her leadership throughout the school year. I'd also like to thank and congratulate all the upperclassmen. We had a fantastic year last year, a lot of great success, a lot of good times, a lot of good learning, and I really want to let you know how much I appreciate that. Let's see if we can build on that into even going greater and farther this coming year. I'd like to also thank the ambassadors, all of our student groups, our mentors, everyone that's helped make the start of this school year be so successful. I'd like to follow up with what the assistant principals have done. They have talked with you about policies and programs and given you information to help you be successful during high school. I'll do a little bit more of that and then finish up with a couple challenges for you. First of all, I want to talk about PLC, late arrival days. On those days, you will not come to school until after 9 o'clock. Teachers are not available till after 9 o'clock, so kind of keep those in mind. There are one of those a month throughout the school year, and then we'll have shorter class periods on those 8 particular days. During block, we will have block this year, but again, that has moved to Thursday and Friday this year, and there are some changes with that. We will certainly help you be ready for that. Remember to use block appropriately. We will have seminar time. That has been a great success for us here. The key to seminar time is to plan ahead. Get your pre-pass, go see the teacher you need, or if you need to get into the library or whatever you need to use that time most effectively. We are also going to talk a little bit about what it means to be a student here. That includes how you dress, how you carry yourself, how you cooperate. First of all, in how you dress, got to remember this is a school. We do have expectations here for you. We are not a beach. We are not a somewhere in the Caribbean or Lake of the Ozarks. We are a high school, and so there are expectations that you dress appropriately. Certainly don't have to dress formally, but appropriately, keeping the body properly covered, maintaining and not wearing items that are improper or could cause disruption. Young ladies, remember too that we don't do tank tops, we don't do tube tops, we don't do diagonal tops, bare midriff, making sure that shorts and skirts are long enough. to remain properly covered. Make sure that we don't have sagging pants, make sure that we have shirts with sleeves in them, some of those types of things. Also making sure there's nothing like drugs, alcohol, sexual innuendo, or anything affiliated with gangs in regards to anything about our clothing or anything that we're wearing. So if you have any questions, make sure that you stop and ask us. But again, the adults in the building judge whether it's appropriate, and if you have a question about it, or if you're wondering about it, it's probably not the right thing to wear to school. Also want to ask you to remember to be, as being part of this school. We are a large building. We have many students here, over 1,300 students. So you do need to be cooperative. You do need to understand the halls are crowded. It's always good to walk down the right side of the hallway versus the left side. That seems to make things work better. If you get hung up, just kind of be patient. Things will clear out and you can move on down the hall. Also being cooperative with your teachers. If you need help, get that help. This is your opportunity to be an advocate for yourself. Make sure that you are successful while you're here at Leavenworth High School. In your student handbook, you will find a great deal more in regards to policies, procedures, and how we do things here. You are responsible for that. This is something that you have received, and again, you need to know what's in there. So make sure you take time to look through your student handbook and understand the expectations we have for you while you're here at school. Remember that as a student here at Leavenworth High, we have high expectations for you. That is great. You want expectations to be high. You want this to be a great place. I want you to be proud of Leavenworth High. I want to be proud of you as individual students. And so that means that you need to conduct yourself in a proper manner. You're not a little kid anymore. You're a high school student. Make sure that you take responsibility for yourself. Make sure that you're ready day in and day out to come to school and be the best you can be. And that's the challenge I'll kind of leave you with here this morning. If you do want to succeed, you can. You just have to believe it and then work towards it and get the help you need to be there. So I challenge you to be the best individual you can be, and if we all do that, including myself, I'm going to try to be the best principal I've ever been this year. So I'm really going to look forward to watching you and seeing how well you do as well. I think together we can accomplish great things. Again, thanks a lot. Hope you have a great and fantastic school year. I'm very proud to be principal here. This is my 6th year, and I look forward to what we can do together. Go Pioneers!